down here, just want to thank the board, Suzanne and staff, and any volunteers that made this event possible. The county looks forward to continuing our partnership with WEDA and the economic development players across our state to help our state continue to grow jobs and foster more inclusive economic development. So enjoy this last session, and I'll hand it off to Mike.
Thank you, Ashley, for those powerful words today and for your sponsorship. Everyone, Mike Omar, I'm the CESO coordinator for USA, and I'm excited to tell you who we are. For those who stick around with the video, we are at the bottom of the night. Baseball guys. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to close this out. It has been a very thought-provoking and content-rich conference. You may learn anything in this conference this week. All right. Okay. This is really about economic impact and development through sports and recreation, near and dear to my heart. Before I talk a little bit about that, I do want to note we have 1.5 NTB poll. So on your cards, there is a QR code, and we may have it up here as well too. Please take a few minutes to answer that question. And thanks to those of you that participated in the NTB polls along the way. I'm going to go a little bit off script, but not too long here. I just want to note, thinking about sports and economic development, one, I'm really excited that I have a tie and a t-shirt, which I love. Think about co-branding your communities with sports is something I've been a big advocate of. Sports teaches us leadership, it teaches us teamwork, it unifies a community in ways that not many other things can. So really wanted to reflect on that. Communities, how you might be able to leverage sports to really create benefit across the community. So hard. I was talking to Ashley about this yesterday. It's hard sometimes to quantify the benefits of promoting sports in your community. But when really you think about the mental health benefits, the public safety benefits, the idea of having a community that is tied together around a common brand, it really is something that's powerful for your community. So thank you, Suzanne and team, conference team, for picking this topic. And just to note as well, as a coach, I always tell them we don't have to be best friends off the field, but when we're here, we're family. We're on the field, we're family, and that's how it feels here. So it's truly a privilege to be able to interact with all of you throughout this conference, to learn from you, to work as a team to advance our economy for every person across the state of Washington. With that, I want to get us moving here, so I'm going to bring back up Penny Constantine, and she is going to kick us off with our fireside chat. Penny.
Thank you, Mike. Like my neighbor to the north, we're very key county. I'm from Pierce County, and we are just really dedicated to working with our partners in that endeavor. So you probably heard of the conferences before. We use a lot of our years and archive to work on generation for our Black and Brown communities, and I'm just really pleased to give a little update here because every time we get an update. So we today, for 2.5 years, have launched 400 businesses, and these are businesses from startup to very, very small and to grow. 89% of those are lifelong businesses, 71% are medical businesses, and 10% are venture businesses. And these businesses not only for training, they also teach them to raise capital. They have raised over $6 million. We match that capital. We help them with the thing that really interesting is we did a survey of 339 of those graduates, and 92% are still in business, and 66% have been under revenue. 21 would say the same, and those were ones that were just trying to still figure out their business model. But what I'm asking and challenging all to do is take different ways to help and through the partnership, we all will share pieces of our patient, our program, and standards, same thing, help our communities and those communities through their organization partner with us to go out and talk to businesses, raise for us, and feedback for 6 is in addition to our directors. So use those calendars to promote your community, whether it's sports or business ownership, we're all about that. So, we'll get that first calendar. Thank you for listening. And I have a lot of partners. One of them is Kendall back in the room. So thank you. All my other partners like so I will recognize them. So for our fireside chat, this is just really exciting. Our guests come up on stage and so line up. You can see the files in the spot card. But we're going to start with Richard Austin, who's the Director of Sports Development in the Yakima Valley Sports Commission. I was born in Yakima. Ashley Blake, the Chief Executive Officer of Sylvia Sports. Ashley Fosberg, Vice President of Philanthropy for Seattle Sounders FC and Executive Director of the Equitable Foundation. Beth Knox, President and Chief Executive Officer of the Seattle Sports Commission and I served on one of her boards in the past. She's phenomenal. And Jeff Gergel, Executive Director of Tri-County Economic Development District and Northeast Washington Tourism and Recreation. Woo! So Mike, take it away.
Thanks, Betty, and thanks to each of the speakers who joined us. We're going to get real close next week here at our fireside chat. We're going to pretend this is fire right here. So we'll settle in and let's just kick off with telling us a little bit about yourself briefly, about your background, role in sports and recreation, and maybe something that excites you. So, Jeff, you want to kick us off?
Sure. Jeff Hall, Executive District.
My purposes, we work with partners in the Seattle region, all the professional sports teams, as well as the sports venues to take on events to bring to our. That's one primary purpose, and then the second is we are a member-based organization, and so we do home events and work to serve our members to keep them engaged in the sports community, all working toward economic development and improving our quality of life through the power of sports.
Hi, I'm Ashley Fosberg. I am the Vice President of Philanthropy and Social Impact for Seattle Sounders FC and now Seattle Reign FC. And I'm also, yes, applause. Foundation, which is the charitable arm of national teams. So our role is really in the play equity space. We focus on bringing access to sports software. And in doing that, we build small fields for play, as you heard me talk about across the state that are never rentable like and always accessible to communities in habit. And not only that, we build programs and invest programs surround these fields that use software to do amazing things to help kids. We're actually great at sports. We're a standalone sports commission, so I will see since 1986. Primarily focused on attempting national, international events. We do commissioning, facility development. We have a strong arm for sports awards or supporting sports programs.
And George Austin will be we are just we are on the norm. We work closely with local organizers. Last year, we just did some 470 events that generated estimated.
Thank you much. So economic developers, I don't know if there is a typical day for economic developers. It's basically put this fire out, grab that cat, throwing out those types of things. In your spaces, tell us, take a minute and just tell us a little bit about what your typical day looks like, and what are those kind of big challenges that we take to do that certainly.
Sure, yeah, I think a typical day is that no 2 days are the same. That is a given, but on average, I am either working on a bid so that we can attract that next event. And that be a process, as you'll probably hear from Rich and Ashley, but it can be a very long process, and it is very dependent on relationships. So that can be just an ongoing process. But then we're also spending time executing and planning our events. So that'll be a big part of my day. And then what we do has such a role in the community and helping our community thrive. So we're working with community stakeholders, local government, officials and agencies, and community contacts. So we are collaborating together to make sure that we are integrating our events into their needs, vice versa, so that we are.
I was just thinking of like my calendar for today. I'm an early riser today, so my lunch was on emails, figure out what's on fire for the day. That's amazing. Had a breakfast meeting at 7. Had an internal meeting at 9. Funding strategies, vision board to develop opportunities. New, I have a 2 o'clock operations meeting, so more of our internal execution functions, receiving organization, scanning our staff, resources, which is business and what we need to see the organization.
I definitely relate to this. Let's go, Mitch.
Well, I thought I was busy. But as Ben mentioned, there are 2 days on the same. But on Tuesday morning, I was at storage area. But there's a lot of meetings. So it is quite a bit. So I'm kind of the opposite of my eyes. So
I wear 2 hats, as I explained. Similar to the Marine side, helping both of those teams learn and discern their commitments to community and how they want to show up and make the world better. Use their brains to amplify and deepen those commitments and then bring their fan bases along with them in those commitments. And that's a big job in itself. There's a lot of help and club-wide initiative. But on the nonprofit side, I am a traditional nonprofit leader where I write grants and do individual fundraising and throw events. And I'm lucky enough to have a platform to bring sounders to support those efforts.
So we, as an economic developer, we provision the training. And so we are together. We also reach
Utility layer.
And and so, this because there's just so that's one of our it's always looking for.
Thank you all for that. That's great. So I'm going to test our teamwork here and just look at this up and whoever wants to answer first. So coming out of Father's Day, as a father of two young female athletes, I have seen firsthand and eyes with some of the inequities that still exist in women's sports. Also seeing rise in popularity of women's sports, both here in Spokane and as well too. Can you talk a little bit about what your take is on how far we've come, and then maybe some of the major barriers or key strategies that help get us where we need to go? So, equity and inclusion in sports. All right, Ben, nice job.
And actually, we'll have some great feedback as well. So, you know, what I'm seeing, in particular in the greater Seattle region, is just a heightened awareness around gender equity and pay equity. And we've had some real superstars that have helped to raise that awareness. Sue Bird, Megan Rapinoe, and many others. And so that's exciting. I feel like we have an opportunity to be that standard and keep encouraging the rest of the world to live up to that. But I also believe that we are in a role. I think that we are unique in our positioning and how we focus on those issues and the opportunities. So I think the real need is to continue to push that boundary outside of our region, make sure that that example is set and communicated far beyond those boundaries. And then the last thing I would say is, you know, that we're also very aware that we cannot keep pushing this issue, pushing the boundaries without our male counterparts being part of the solution. And it's more than just being an ally. You can't just be saying, yeah, you know, we'll push you the best. Everyone has to play a role in solving this problem and being part of the solutions and being active advocates in ensuring that there is effective pay equity.
I parallel Beth's comments and will just share that you all know Megan Rapinoe is single-handedly responsible for pay equity with soccer for that movement and has been critical in that in international cause and is seen as a known leader. And she retired from soccer last year, but will be retiring from Jersey in August. So I see this as an opportunity, and Seattle Sounders and Seattle Marines see this as an opportunity to use our platform to move what Megan started forward, using the voice of both brands. And I think Beth's comment about how men need to join right alongside women in this cause is so appropriate and is part of my work to bring the men's team alongside us. So really excited to be able to share the need for women's pay equity and equity in sports in general, with and utilize the two brands to move that forward.
Very much.
I was thinking about last year we celebrated the anniversary of the anniversary. Some of the wild yes, it's super powerful. It doesn't have to. There's a lot of amazing programs at the grassroots level, like and then the economic development side, all of our numbers show that girls sports when it comes to average daily spend, we hosted a massive using volleyball tournament, 15,000 players, and let's do that. So if you're looking at it from a segment, there's also very, and then I have the opportunity to share the video for that. So that you can see, we'll handle the conference. Just talking about some of the design elements and the connect to that is the sports. There's a lot of all ability to visit the restaurants. We used to say wrestling is with this national tournament, girls in the UAE all the way up to the world, and just being able to, in one, show role models, show, you know, you're starting to lead, but then also the rest say that. Our fire.
So that's something else to work on.
That's great. So WEDA takes a strong pride in being a source of professional development. Thanks to the leaders that are working on our emerging leaders program, we've had a lot of opportunities to provide this group. I'm interested in your careers. How has mentorship been a role for you? And would you consider mentors or maybe ask?
Sure. When I think about mentorship, how and workforce development and the role sports can play in helping children visualize their future, let alone in a job, visualize we work in other communities. Need an extra level of support to show what's going on. And so we've been working on that very grassroots level to create programs that relate to students. So an example of that would be in this young man that now works for Centers of in Arabic Felix. He participated in a program we have at the Sports Media Institute, brought him in as an intern with 10 other kids, pretended like he was a member of our press corps, taught him really how to write and learn confidence in public speaking. And from there, he was able to get enough skills and confidence to take a role at a local radio station as an intern. That led to a job at Sounders FC as a match day assistant. He since applied and got into WEDA and is graduating this year, and we're hiring at Sounders FC. He's starting next month. So those are the kind of workforce development career paths I focus on, and I think about the role we have as sports entities to provide those opportunities for youth and for them.
Mentorship. Yeah, there you go.
You know I have it. Well, first I have to just give a shout out to my first mentor, who has since passed away. He was my first boss. My first job out in Seattle was working for Seafair. And he was someone who, in fact, was all female staff nearly. And he encouraged us to truly be leaders and gave us the opportunity to be leaders. And I think it is remarkable that every single one of us ended up in significant leadership roles throughout our career as a result of that. So it just really speaks to the value and the power of that mentorship role. But you know, the thing that I'm really excited about that's happening in Seattle right now that will be underway is related to the Memorial Stadium renovation project, which is a very exciting venture just to have this new venue in Seattle, but the intention is to create a workforce mentorship program for high school students where they will be working in roles at the stadium from programming to scheduling to working the events on site and giving them the skills that Ashley just spoke to. And you know, the real value is, I've always told this to my interns over the years, it's less about finding what you love. Maybe it's equally as much about finding what you love as what you don't love. And doing those internship roles and finding out, oh, I really don't like this part of the job. So it helps to inform what you want to do in your career. So I just am a huge fan of internships and any kind of mentoring role where you can help provide that something.
I think it's also about showing small. So we would like to help them define what they are as person.
Just who in third grade do you want to be in? Gary was the only one. I'm Rich.
Well, I come from the world of basketball, so quite a few folks in my 20 years at that level helped me out, showed me a lot of things, gave me enough leeway, empowerment, a lot of experience. And we try to teach that to some of our interns and our bosses. I always tell them this may not be the sexiest job. At least we're not athletes, although sometimes we're different. But you know, I also try to bring someone in and let them see everything about it. But I also try to and you are not trying to hire first. Some of the skills are like
Coming to you, be ready. Here we go. So a big topic this year is order content. Productivity and how we either in the sports that you're working or in your own jobs. How is it? Podium was really impressive. Yes, technology that is just kick us off. Figure out how to
Really, that's it. So we're at a place for our organization where we're scaling, professionalize and ensure that we're successful for the stage. So we're putting on all of our tech implementation right now. The big one is I, which is our project management tool that speak to our CRM. We're working on a grant program that also connects to those. So from an org admin side, that's really where our focus is on the tech side. Working on the event side, we sell our streaming rights to other states, so just the ability for things that it could be like a youth or a high school program like Georgia could watch the game. I think that's a powerful platform just to provide.
Yeah, so you know, post-pandemic, you know, we've experienced a lot of growth in grant writing and stuff. Brandon, one of my grant writers, he's a big AI guy, so and still have to catch him on his ChatGPT to sort of write grants. But you know, we also started finding more groups for reasons to outsource, whether it's grant management, software or systems. pandemic, we would go out to do recreation. We would hand out a lot of mats, shirts, and now, spoke to it was last weekend, everybody was shooting QR. Nobody wants to go. So, there's, you need to rethink your budgets for printing and invest more in your social media.
Suzanne, last printing. All
But
right, Ben.
I'll just add one more to that, yeah, project management, all of those are so critical to our professionals and ability to engage with our members, stakeholders. But Peter may have mentioned this morning, but for the Seattle World Cup, working to develop a technology that is akin to a Pokemon Go, for that really engages fans and visitors, getting them to move around the region to other communities and neighborhoods where they are incentivized and rewarded for going into these areas and neighborhoods. It's one of the bigger challenges that I have found as when we bring a big event, a big sporting event to Seattle. Too often, especially with locals will just go straight to the ballpark or straight to the stadium because that's what they know. And the fans, of course, the visitors that are from out of town, see where should we go? So helping them to find those places, making it fun and engaging and rewarding to help them and move around the city, I think that's exciting.
I think maybe gamification in general is to figure out how to take advantage of that.
I think probably we created this. But we are looking. See what we're doing.
So you did on great transition partnerships. Economic development is a team sport, and you rely heavily on partners. Can you talk a little bit about the partners that you work with and rely on with your community organizations, and how that helps you be successful in your various goals? So,
Yeah, sure. So, as a quasi-government organization, I've been working for many of the county commissioners, elected from each of our municipalities, as well as the higher education tribes. They all become very valuable partners throughout that. And then we bring it in, so they would be sort of our compact signatories, provide me my information. And then they also bring the business on board. This year. And as well as local groups and national support service. So, we look at ourselves as an aggregate. Our group is probably have 5 folks in the room, and not only do we do our product or get their guidance, then they have a chance to share with them some local advice, great things.
We have quite a few that we work with. Yeah, and we also people at the national organizations. So we meet all the local people on a quarterly basis. Talking about basically,
Sure. And community partnerships are the part of what we do without them. On the corporate side, those organizations and companies that align corporate social responsibility missions and visions to Bay Foundation, Centers FC, and Rain FC are matched actually fits, and we can find alignment between that and the commitment we make, like the 26 fields by 2026 that Peter talked about earlier. When we find those corporate partners that align with the impact we want to make, it's magic. But what makes it even more special is the community partners that surround us, many pitch locations. What we do would not be possible without their input and feedback. We start with them and then build a partnership from the ground up, so to speak. One of the key partners we just aligned with is who Beth represents the local organizing committee. We know that the local organizing committee wants to leave the state of Washington better than they found it after World Cup and one of that, and they're doing that through legacy commitments. And I'm sorry for stealing your thunder, but their legacy commitment, part of their legacy commitment is to build more access, bring more access to the state, and Brave Foundation is their official partner in that work. So we have field, and because of partnerships, we're at 19 already. And so if you do the math, we'll reach 26 early, and we'll very likely double our mission in our engagement because we want to use momentum to keep that going. And I'll just say one of those next mini pitches this season, this year, will be at Spokane Valley at Balfour Park, just to share the partnerships make all of this happen. Balfour Park 2 coming past 30 and most likely this summer as well, in addition to many so partnerships is what it's all about.
That's going to rip off that a little bit.
Yeah, I'll just check on it. I think you're all very familiar with partnerships and the value of them. Of course, the Sports Commission aligns with the Chamber of Commerce and the downtown associations and mayor's office, all for those shared goals. But what I am finding is just how valuable those community relationships are with neighborhood, business improvement areas, with those individual downtown associations for the outlying areas. Ashley is very, very familiar with this, and I get a lot of inspiration for how engaged the Ray Foundation is with those neighborhood groups. And so we're really delving into that to go beyond that downtown core and make sure that the neighborhoods are making those impact visitors and the ability to participate in sporting events just as much as the area around the university.
Actually, what was
So I was thinking about 8% of our funding is channels through lodging. Some hotel engagement is a major stakeholder for us in services. The sports facility side, we haven't had that right now, so they have like the sister task. The podium price tag is like 62 million. But that was really on the backs of the Northwestern Center. It was a bigger driver for this market. So it's sports diversity for that design, for that sales, for that sort of marketing. So that's a really tremendous partner for us right now. And then we look at what's coming up. We're working on an amazing project with the city of Spokane Valley right now. So established sports tourism. And open in August of 25. So looking at Spokane is very fortunate to be so many people who understand the work that we have. It's a very diverse ecosystem. Partners that visit Spokane are also just feel fortunate to work with the work is recognized and understood. And also
So we have one last question for me. On this board, and remind you, either raise your hand, jump up and down, or you can just casually go to swap card and enter the question. We'll track it down as well too. So get ready for those. And just my last question to this group is really about opportunities. So we heard from a previous speaker how woefully underfunded relative to other states we are in terms of recreation, tourism. I think sometimes Washington feel like it's just gonna come on its own, right? So can you talk a little bit about maybe the biggest opportunity that we have to capitalize on sports, tourism, recreation, and what we both economic developers and collective partners need to advance those efforts. And that.
Well, I think that the obvious one is World Cup, and we are absolutely using that along with Dave Whiteford and a lot of other stakeholders who are struggling with this funding issue, and using World Cup to help prove the value of these sporting events. It would be the most obvious and tangible thing that we can speak to, and you know, what the biggest challenge that we have is helping legislators to understand that you can't just be funded by sports teams owners or just to assume that the private community is going to step up and fund these things. It has to be public-private. And I think the World Cup is going to give us that platform to tell that story in the most profound way.
Build on that side.
It is tomorrow.
Well, we're all going to be here for that. And so what does that mean now? It means that the challenges, the opportunities are, the challenge is how to scale to serve the community we want to serve. These commitments were made. So we're building 26 scale, that means we're 26 commitments at the ground floor, grassroots, and then people away, and we're not going anywhere to it. We want to double that. How do we do that? So that's the challenge of basically scaling the organization, finding those resources, those partnerships to help us do that. Some of those partners are going to be program partners, maybe some very companies are going to represent. Some of those are going to be funding partners, some of those are going to be civic partners. So really faced with the scaling issue because World Cup is going to bring soccer ideally to at a 3-1, that's cool, and somehow something that momentum going. It's a great opportunity and a challenge.
We're happy the Gold Coast coming. We're hoping to poach a few people off of it just by, leading forward and getting our messaging out there. Come visit the little bars and watch. And I think that we actually got other ways to capture the World Cup. And then I'm not going to get them to come to the World Cup, but we hope they come back. And so that's kind of our long game in this. State of Washington has been great since they sort of reinvigorated a few years ago. They really done well for us as a small DMO to build our program. And so, I think for us, the long game is try and catch the airports and get mind and come back to Washington.
Your area is so beautiful as well, too. It's going to be amazing to be able to expose that area to all those. Actually, rich opportunities.
We can ensure that the resources are scalable. States that to support tourism development. And when we're at the table like that, quite competitive. So I think ensuring that resources are and then either some of these destinations to their natural then we can build a destination. Something that's often under some of the I think there's a lot of natural
How's that? That as well, because that's something that's really big. Because we do compete, but against items really are the same time, some are. Also, just working together.
I think we do have questions from the audience, so Suzanne, a little bit of you.
Hello, my name is Ron Torres. I am. We also run a free soccer program. When we talk about sports, we have, we know that in sports are only accessible. Like that, because soccer, for instance, is what can I take a question. It's not accessible. While we started the program, we started with like our kids like access to sports.
Kudos to you. Let's take that.
Thank you for that question and giving me the chance to talk a little bit about that. We have centers at State Ramsey and WEDA Foundation. We can't solve the play equity access problem for the entire region, state, but what we can do is find partners to help in the populations that need the most, and that's our goal. So our goal is to go statewide and find those too many to name, and many we don't know, but people like you who daylight those opportunities for us are really important. And what we will do is one by one, try to engage those communities and bring free access to the sport to those communities. So everything WEDA Foundation centers are bringing together with our partners, like LOC and many of you, will be free. So the place to play is free, but we have a pledge to give a soccer ball to every child within 1 mile walking distance to that field. So they have a place to play in a ball. And these two key barriers that should allow play access anytime they want. On top of that, access to programs I talk about with the gentleman Aaron Barrett, who is now going to be working for Sounders, access to career pathways, access to free soccer training with many community partners. Ashley and I need to talk about after this so we can align on community partnerships. So it is the goal, it is the drive that we share in our mission every day is to provide that access to speak of. And this is how it happens, is one by one by one. We get there in communities.
All right, Lisa, I see you wait. Hold on, I was going to say something.
I was just going to tag on to Ash's comments that the Seattle professional teams have partnered with the Seattle Sports Commission to support an organization called the King County Play Equity Coalition. And the real value in that is the Play Equity Coalition has the finger on the pulse of the community where those needs are the greatest. And so rather than us individually try to help solve these problems, and put only our resources, both financial as well as staff resources, to support their efforts, is that we found that to be really valuable, and it is it's a priority amongst all of the professional teams and the sports commission.
Yeah, I just wanted to address that one too. So the project is running in the city of Spokane Valley. Our cross-country running complex was driven by that conversation. Cross-country running is one of the most accessible sports, like all you need is a pair of shoes. So the thought of having a facility that's going to be open to the public, we have access, we have programs like active reading, and so the sports association is we want to not just host premium events, but we also want to have opportunities for you to applicable. And then directly through Spokane Sports, any event that we sell tickets to, we have a pretty significant allotment of those sports, like those youth groups or community-based organizations, to just get in and see some of our events are planned through CT and all ones have been thought about or seen. Or when we're sitting on, 1,000 access tickets, those are things that we want to share.
Got about 5 minutes left. If we don't get to your question, make sure you enter in slot bar and we'll do our best to get answer. Lisa, take it away.
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Lisa Smith. I'm with the Association, and first of all, very informative. My question really is about this, really literally thousands of very small companies that are the fishing guides, that are experiential. Just really struggling. Space.
I'm not gonna answer. Is that okay?
So, great question. One of the things that we've done in Northeastern Washington is we just finished a series on guide and outfitters training, where not only did we provide the standards for ADO business practices, but we also brought in land management agencies to talk about permitting for guiding on state and federal lands. Again, this is all about access to capital, it's about the basic training, and that's what we do on a daily basis.
Yeah, Richard.
What's a little bit of a new area for us is kind of been taken outside of sports and more into marketing with the kind of product. They do quite a bit of video production, trying to publicize. We think it's kind of natural. So it's something that kind of taken away with back towards try to wrap our arms around see how
I would just add one more. The state of Washington tourism has been great with the state of grant. We start shooting 3 videos next month. I appreciate it.
Is that maybe another queued up? One more? All right.
First, this has been so amazing, so thank you all. It's been an amazing conference, an amazing panel, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I heard an interview with Ashley Fosberg, I look forward to talking to you. Some of the things you said were about the importance of partnerships. You mentioned the ease of aligning, something is aligning, how that works. So, and then you, Beth, I also look forward to following with you. There was just great alignment around work. So my question is similar to a question that I asked earlier, but when you think about organizations, my name is Dr. Tracy Amrell. I'm representing multiple organizations, but my company's called It's All Bigger Than Me. I think it was a host that said economic development is team sport. How do we bring more diverse players to the team?
I'll jump in, just, what I think is critical is that we have intentionality. And that is where we focus our efforts on hiring, where we focus our efforts on who we partner with, and you're asking the question, who's not at the table? And how do we make sure that we bring them? And, we can all acknowledge that takes more time and effort, and which is a precious commodity. But I think that's exactly what is needed in order to start to balance out that.
Yeah, Richard.
I agree with that. We have our own table like this. One of the largest partners trying to get them more involved and trying to their travel areas.
Well, Rich, Ashley, Matt, Deb, it's been an absolute honor. Thank you for all the work you're doing to advance sports and recreation in the state of Washington. leadership stage today. Please help me thank our panelists.
Thank you, Mike, and to our incredible panel. We appreciate all of your collaboration, partnership, the way you're pivoting to your organization. And just a shout out, I took a lot of time to get here. I appreciate that and seeing Thomas back to where we need to go. So for the rest of our group, I feel like you're like church, you're all back. We are giving a few more action items to accomplish the your journey. We so appreciate you being here. Well, we've been here for a day and a half. Many of you also did IET. So you had a lot of words, a lot of ideas. I hope you take those partnerships and moderated ideas back to your community. Reach out to any of us to help advance whatever program you're working on. We always like to WEDA. So we have, this is not the end of WEDA. We have our advocacy efforts that will be underway for 2025. We have our fall and spring meeting. Please be on the screen, be present, and learn from each other and help each other. So we just appreciate you being that. So now we have one action item, so one last goal. This is actually our annual meeting. So we have an election of our board and our officers. So if you will go up to the here, question number 6. But first of all, you see on the screen a slate of officers. You can vote without knowing who it is. So up on the screen, you'll see on the slate, which I know is at the name chart at the back of the room. These are our officers the board and for example, for the coming year. They go to the back. We did not have a lot of seats, but the piece I want you to also in the future, if you want to get connected with volunteers, please let Suzanne and myself know. But I would entertain a motion from the floor to approve the slate. It's been moved by someone in the room, raise your hand. And seconded, thank you very much. So if you'll now vote for the poll, if you're not done, I guess you can vote twice. All those in favor, also do a verbal aye. Opposed? Abstained? Thank you very much. We appreciate that. And I look forward to another year serving as your chair. I'm working with you to advance our mission across the state of more equitable outcome for economic vitality and investment. And then I have another little opportunity before you go, and I would love to have a couple people from KINSA up to the stage. Joe, Mike, and I'd like to have Mr. Kendall come up to the stage. So many of you know Bruce Kendall. He's incredible. I can probably tell you, know him longer than anybody else in the room. Could go back way back, but come on up, Bruce. Bruce is retiring, and I just can't even believe it. Because not only we've been friends before we were in the same community, worked together